stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
After a race for the ages at Sebring last time out, we now come to the land of the rising sun and round number 6 of the Svenska eRacingligan GT3 series here from Fuji. Tony Trapasso off the booth with you for this one. Thank you so much for making this a part of your Thursday afternoon. If you're here in the East Coast of the States, Thursday evening, wherever you are in the world, as qualifying already underway, we are going to take a quick look at the point standings coming into tonight. Sam Hammarstedt, after that dominating performance at Sebring, does come home with the points lead, just about 60 markers to the good. Gustav Jonsson currently sitting in second place. So Forza Esports Academy, putting a handful of cars in the top 5. Jocke Ware for Alpine Stars currently sitting in third in points, just about 100 markers down, 99 markers to be exact, off of Gustav Jonsson. As there's some big point spreads here, but there's still a lot of racing left. We've got 3 races on tap for you this afternoon, a 15 and 2 20-minute sprint races, and we will be inverting the field after each race. Sam Hammarstedt going to be one of the first ones to try to lay a time, as there he is coming down the front chute now. Hammarstedt is in the building. Fredriksson is here. Magnussen is here. Eriksson. Holmer. Hakenwet is here. Jocke Ware is here. Marcus Stiller is in the building. Only about 14 cars making the call here for Fuji, as qualifying is underway, as we're following along with your current points leader, Sam Hammarstedt. As we are going to bring up the timing tower so we can follow along who's going where. Hammarstedt going purple in the first sector, purple in the third sector. Actually, green in the second sector. It's coming through the third sector now. Purple in sector 2. Into sector 3 he goes with a good head of steam right now. He's going to be one of the first ones to lay a time down. Jesper Eriksson, another one that's getting out there early. Jocke Wet out there as well in the 101. As we've come to expect out of this league, a Mercedes heavy field. 5 BMWs, 3 Audis, and 1 lone Ferrari. As there you go. The usual suspects at the front of this piece, Hammarstedt, Eriksson, and Wet, I'm sorry. Hammarstedt's going to reset. Let's take a quick look at Pontius Norgren. There he is in the lone Ferrari. Going to come across ninth quick. Philip Axelsson goes up to fifth. Let's take a look at Daniel Homer right now in that bright eSports BMW. Very similar ideas with the BMW and the Mercedes. Both front engine, both V8s. The only difference is where they make the power. The BMW makes it way up in the rev range, whereas the big Merc has that low-end grunt to pull it off the corners. Only two drivers so far have gone sub 139s here. Even in the practice session, Hammarstedt and Eriksson, the only two to do so. As we are following along with Dan Homer. And Sebastian Magnussen gave away a couple of sectors on his first lap, gives away first sector on his second lap, so this lap not going to count for Sebastian Magnussen. Nicholas Grahn also in the same boat. As Homer comes across. Fourth quick. Not too shabby of an attempt there. Lucas Holmgren in that Mobby BMW. We're currently picking him up, laying him down here. Okay. Holmgren goes fifth quick on that lap. Still have a couple of drivers trying to lay some times here. As we've only got just about 3.5 minutes left in this session. So if you're going to lay a time, you better get out there now. Again, only 15 cars making the call for tonight. Taking a look at Sebastian Magnussen. There he is. In that superior number 877. Let's see if Sector 1 is going to be kinder to him this time. Again, Magnussen not laying a time. Nicholas Grahn not laying a time. And Jocke Sjöö still on pit road waiting for just that perfect time to lay one down. As the lone Ferrari of Pontius Nords, I'm sorry, that's the Audi of Nicholas Grahn, going to put him 10th quick. Oscar Fredriksson out on track right now. He is green in both first and second sectors. Coming through the third one right now, as we are going to bring up the track map. Coming through the final hairpin. Pulls the trigger to get back on the throttle. And you could just hear that big Merc lurch forward. Giving it all the beans right now down the front chute here at Fuji. And across the line, 14th quick. Make that 4th quick for Fredriksson. Not too shabby of a lap. Dan Homer coming through the final hairpin down the back straightaway, looking to improve. Looks like he gave away something on sectors 1 and 2 as he was trying to really reel one in there. And that is going to about do it. If you're not out on track already, you're not laying a time. There's Jocke Sjöö, sorry. Just coasting right now, see how far he can run that tank to bingo. Take a quick look at our weather conditions coming into tonight. 13 kilometer an hour winds gusting up to 15. Currently relatively decent temperatures, 23 degrees Celsius ambient air. Track temperature at 31 degrees Celsius under partly cloudy skies, 69% water grain, which means that these engines are going to be making max horsepower to hurdle them down the long straightaway here at Fuji. And with any luck, we're not going to have a repeat of what we saw during the F1 race here a few weeks back in the real world, as somebody almost hit the safety car again. As we are just waiting for grid up for the first of 3 segments tonight. Take a quick look at our starting grid. Sam Hammarstedt sets quick time. Jesper Eriksson going to start outside row number 1. Row 2 is going to go to Jocke Sjöö and Oscar Fredriksson. Håkan Wet and Lucas Holmgren going to make up row number 3. Row 4 goes to Dan Homer and Phillips Axelsson. Sebastian Magnusson and Victor Hammerström going to make up row number 5, with Nick Grom and Dan Segelson making up row number 6. Row 7 is going to show us Pontius Norgren and Marcus Stiller, as Jocke Sjöö did not lay a time in qualifying, so unsure if he's actually going to take the green here in the first sprint race. 15 minutes on the clock for this one. So there you go there. As we're just waiting for Magnussen and Ware to actually grid up here. As the field gridding up behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. Just a little shorty here. So we're going to take the last few pieces of the track to switch back. Used to be a big sweeper, but they decided to slow the cars down and not let them get as big of a run going down the front chute. But as they work through the final chicane, Hammarstedt going to have the button in this one. Mercedes lockout on the front row as they come into the final hairpin now. As the pace truck gets ready to haul it on off, the other thing left to say is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab some meatballs, because it's time to get it on to the land of the rising sun. Race fans, it's show time! Just waiting on the pace truck to make that hard left turn onto pit road. Here it goes, and here we go for the 15-minute sprint race. Hammarstedt holds him down, pulls the trigger, and just like that, we are underway.
Green, green, green.
Eriksson looks to the inside of Hammarstedt going into turn number 1. Pretty treacherous there as Hammarstedt going to let him go. Eriksson is going to swing wide, throw the block. They're too wide behind him. That's Olofsson and Fredriksson beating on each other as we got one spinning off in the back. That's Sebastian Magnusson as he just went for a ride, as is a couple of the other superior cars there. Let's go back and take a look at what happened to Magnusson. Oi. Let's see that again. 3 wide going through 1, collecting. Magnusson goes for a wild ride. Not a lot of damage on any of those cars as everybody tried to get them pointed in the right direction. Axelson, Stott, Stiller, and Grom also getting a piece of something. Checking back up in the front, Eriksson and Hammarstedt starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Jakob Erlichsen, as he's got heavy pressure from Fredriksson and Homer right there as well. As battle for the lead, drag race down the front chute. Hammarstedt trying to get the side draft on Eriksson, does have the nose out front. Who's going to lead lap 1? Give it to Sam Hammarstedt by half a fender. Your biggest mover in the positive direction so far is this man in the 113 for Superior. That is Marcus Stiller, sitting +5. Dan Segelson right there is +4. So not getting the qualifying attempts they were hoping for. Is Hakenwet trying to work on Pontius Norgren right now. Actually, Norgren making the move in the lone Ferrari. Russell's a spot away from one of only a handful of BMWs here tonight. Highest running Audi belongs to this man, Victor Hammerstrom. There is Hammerstrom. Oscar Fredriksson getting a little bit of pressure now from Daniel Homer. That's Homer in the 79, Fredriksson in the 112 Merc. This is probably one of those tracks that the BMWs are going to have their best shot here this season, as you know, this is going to play into their hands as far as where you need to make the power here at Fuji, as Indy Snake time already. Hammerstedt and Eriksson going after each other. Eriksson letting Hammerstedt know that he's not a happy camper with him right now. Checking back in, that's Fredriksson, Ulrichsen, and Homer going after each other. Here comes Fredriksson to the inside. Not going to make the pass stick as Fredriksson slams the door. Opens the door for, Ulrichsen slams the door. Opens the door for Homer to get to the back bumper of Fredriksson. There we go. Now I know where I'm looking. Want to thank everybody for making us a part of your afternoon here. Still watching this battle in the mid-pack right now. I want to thank everybody for making us a part of your afternoon. If you haven't done so already, give this video a thumbs up, share, like, subscribe, turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. As we are presenting this on YouTube on Sim Racing Media, where this race will be archived. Sam Hammarstedt continues to show the way. There he is. In that big bad Merc that we have seen up at the front through so many of the first races of the season. Now we are going to be inverting the entire field for race number 2, and then doing that again based on the finishing order of race number 3. So this is going to be a fun one here tonight, as Homer giving a lot of pressure to Fredriksson right now, as they're both Fredriksson in a BMW sandwich. Comes down the front chute, looks to the inside, pulls alongside of Homer. Homer and Fredriksson drag race into turn number 1. Who's going to push it the furthest is Homer almost gets into Ulriksson. This is your battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. As Victor Hammerstrom. Oi! Oscar Fredriksson just went for a ride. As we are going to back that up and take a quick look at what just happened to the 112. Here they are going into 1. Homer trying to stay off him here as pinches him. They make a little bit of contact. Nothing egregious yet. Car high, bud. Fredriksson just came across to try to throw the block on Homer, and it came back to bite him in the backside. So that's no bueno. The only good news is they still have the 2 backup cars available for race number 2 and 3 here tonight from Fuji. So Hammerstedt, 2 3/4 seconds to the good over Jesper Eriksson. There he is, currently sitting in 2nd. The battle for 3rd still rages on, as Ulriksson, Homer, and Holmgren all relatively close to each other. Holmgren has backed off it a little bit, as it's Ulriksson and Homer. Circuit Homer to the inside of Ulriksson, coming through the 2nd portion of Sector 1 into the big left-hander. Sweeping it around the right-hander. They bang fenders. Little BMW on BMW action there. So you've got the Mercedes of Hammerstedt, the Mercedes of Eriksson, and then 3 BMWs of Homer, Ulriksson, and Holmgren right there. Then Oscar Fredriksson's BMW, or Mercedes, that is heavily damaged. There you see all the front end damage after he tagged the Armco. Checking in with Huck and Ware. As you can see, some heavy damage on the front of that bright Esports 101. Oy. And that is a log jam in front of them. Stiller, Nordgren, and Wet all going after each other. That is your battle for 9th, 10th, and 11th. As they've got 2 seconds to the clear of the lone Audi of Nicholas Kram, as Philip Axelson, Sebastian Magnussen, and Jocke Ware all not on track. Axelson and Magnussen both putting it on the hauler after lap 1. And they have spent the last 8 minutes, respectively, between both of them on pit road. after only doing one lap. There is the Ferrari of Nordgren in the slipstream of the Mercedes of Stiller in front of him. Going to swing it wide. That's going to open the door for that BMW. Fucking wet. Gets through there. Still a tight battle. You guys have not given up on it yet. This is the last spot in the top 10 right now. Currently working lap number 7 here tonight from Fuji. Only a couple minutes left in this sprint race. And you see the best lap for Pontius Nordgren in the sole Ferrari in the field. Let's compare those times with those of a race leader Hammarstedt, as he and Eriksson are the only two that have gone sub 139 here tonight. Holmgren and Ulriksson going after each other now, side by side, BMW on BMW crime. This is 4th and 5th. As Ulriksson able to squeeze it out. Oi, around goes Holmgren. That's not what he wanted to do. Oi. A little too aggressive coming out of the hairpin there for turn 1. And around she went. Luckily we were watching that live, as that was our closest battle on track. Not so much anymore. Dan Homer sitting in 3rd, 2 seconds to the clear on 2 seconds to the clear on Joachim Ulriksson. There he is for Superior in the BMW. Superior is one of those teams that to them it really doesn't matter what you're driving as long as you're repping the team colors. Whereas most of the Ford's esports cars are going to be the Mercedes. The same goes for the Bright esports team, as most of those cars are BMWs. Checking in with Lucas Holmgren as he's on a recovery drive. You can see a little bit of damage on the left front fender of that Mobby-sponsored BMW. He's trying to reel in Victor Hammerstrom in the highest running Audi right now. Currently runs in 6th. Something just happened to Nick Grahn. Let's take a look at what happened to the 55. There's Grahn, 3rd car in line at the bottom. Sausage curbs. Runs it wide, tries to collect it, and loops it. Well then. That was not good. Something happened with Pontius Nordgren as well. Let's take a look at what happened to the lone Ferrari. There you see him at the bottom of your screen. Great view from the boys up in the chopper. Coming down the front chute with a good head of steam here. And just misses the braking zone. Luckily, they did away with a lot of the sand that used to be there, or else that car would have been beached. And as we were watching that, something happened with Victor Hammerstrom in the leading Audi. Drops him from 6th to 8th here. Let's see what happened to that one. Same exact thing that happened to Nick Grom. I dare say that these guys are running a lighter fuel load here in this first sprint race than we're going to see later. And when these things get light on fuel, they tend to unbalance themselves. And it's exactly what we're seeing right now. Hucking Wet and Marcus Stiller going after each other again. You can see the heavy damage on Wet's car. That is not what you want to have, especially at this point of the race. We've got about 3 minutes left in this first sprint race. No, I take that back. Oi! That's not what Wet was hoping for. Is Stiller just got punted. Norgan going to race him out of the final chicane, though, is Hammarstedt winning the first sprint race of the night. We are going to invert. Eriksson hangs on for second. Homer, there he is, coming home in third. Ulrichsen in fourth. Oscar Fredriksson crosses for fifth. Lucas Holmgren, good recovery drive for him, coming home in sixth. Dan Segelson in seventh. Victor Hammerstrom in eighth. Kjelken Wet in ninth. Pontius Nordgren in 10th. Marcus Stiller and Nick Grom rounding out the field of finishers. Phillips Axelsen, Sebastian Magnussen did take the green. However, they've been on pit road for the last 15 minutes as Jocke Ware did not take the green. I'm not even sure if he's in the session right now, as we are going to take a look at the starting grid for our second heat race. There you see Ware going to have the pole. Axelsen going to start next to him. Sebastian Magnussen and Nick Grom making up row number 2. Marcus Stiller and Pontius Nordgren in row 3. Row 4 is going to see Victor Hammerstrom and Kjelken Ware. Lucas Holmgren and Dan Segelson in row number 5. Row 6 is going to see Oscar Fredriksson and Joachim Ulrichsen. That is row 6. Row 7 seeing Dan Homer and Jesper Eriksson. And by virtue of winning the first sprint race, Sam Hammarstedt is going to start shotgun one more time. We're doing things a little bit differently this time, as instead of 15 minutes, we're going 20. Good luck. So as Jocke Ware did not grid up, no points for him, is it's going to hand the start over to Axelsen. As they're coming through the final couple of switchbacks here, back-to-back hairpins here at Fuji. Long front straightaway if they've got to maintain pace speed. So Axelsen going to have the trigger this time as they come down the front chute to start the 20-minute second segment of this race. Pace truck getting ready to haul it on off. As here we go. Sprint race number 2, 20 minutes on the clock. And green flag is in the air now. Here we go. Axelsen pulls the trigger, and just like that, we are under green.
Green, green, green.
Spotter a little bit asleep at the switch there, but we're still under green. Sebastian Magnussen looking to the inside of Grom as they go into turn number 1. Everybody kind of tiptoeing right now. Everybody able to go to their backup cars if they needed it and put new shoes on these rides during the break. 3 wide towards the back. That's Segelson, Eriksson, and Hammarstedt. Boy, as those 2 big bad Mercs just split a BMW of Segelson. That's got to be an uneasy feeling, especially when you've got a guy as quick as Hammarstedt trying to weave his way through this piece. As Nordgren and Fredriksson going after each other right now. There is Nordgren working the inside of Oscar Fredriksson's Mercedes as they approach the end of Sector 2 and go into Sector 3. And we've got one around. That's the 112 of Fredriksson. The second time tonight he's been pointing the wrong way on a one-way street. As that was Hammarstedt. Oh, we need to go back and see what happened here. There you see Hammarstedt and Fredriksson running stem to stern. That bright eSports BMW right in front of them. Ooh, 4 wide, never a good idea, as both the bright eSports cars kind of having a hand in that. Complete pinball effect, as that is not the start to the second segment that Hammarstedt wanted. As right now, Philip Axelsson is showing the way. A full second to the good, as there is Hammarstedt on pit road. Axelsson, Magnussen, Grom, and Eriksson, and Homer rounding out your top 5 as they currently sit. Jochen Wet and Victor Hammerstrom going after each other now. BMW trying to get by that big bad Audi. Auto Union, if you will. There is Hammerstrom in not your highest running Audi this time. That belongs to that man, Nick Grom. Grom holding down a solid third. He's got almost 2 seconds to the good over the Merc of Jesper Eriksson. Jesper Eriksson, though, your biggest mover so far, sitting plus 10. Dan Homer in that bright eSports BMW right behind him, plus 8. Who says you can't pass it, Fuji? The only issue is nobody has gone as fast during segment 2 as they did during the first sprint race. Quickest lap of the event so far in this segment. There it is. Jesper Eriksson just went sub 139. Look, 139.18. Good grief. Hammerstein and Wet going after each other, as it looked like Fredriksson and Nordgren going at it behind them, as Wet in the BMW going to pick it off from Hammerstrom. Checking back up here, it's BMW on BMW action as Holmgren leading Ulriksson. Neither one letting the other one get too far away right now, as it is a complete runaway at the front of this piece. Axelsson with a second to the good over Magnussen. There you see those 2 superior cars running stem to stern. They've got 2 seconds to the clear over the leading Audi in third. And that Audi's going to have to be careful, because that is a hard-charging Jesper Eriksson right on his tail. Ooh, a little bit of sausage curb action for Eriksson there. You got to be careful, because these cars do have the newest damage model on them, and you don't want to be taking those big hump sausage curbs too aggressively, because it will break the suspension on these cars. Now side by side, Grom and Eriksson down the front chute. They come with a good head of steam. The Audi not giving up as it's in its rev range right now. That twin turbo able to hang on by half a fender as Eriksson does get the move done here going into one. Eriksson with the nose out front, under heavy braking, able to outbrake the Audi, and that's going to open the door for Homer in the BMW to get to the inside of Grom. Runs Grom wide. He's not going to be a happy camper for that one. Side-by-side action behind him. That's Homer and Ulrichsen. Those two BMWs have not gone away from each other since the green flag flew for this second heat race. Still running door to door. This is your closest battle on track. It's a battle for sixth. Joachim Ulrichsen in the superior 311 has it at 112. And Oscar Fredriksson wants it. Lucas Holmgren wants it. Oscar Fredriksson in the Mercedes is back there as well. And then he's got 2 seconds worth of breathing room back to Pontius Nordgren in the lone Ferrari here tonight. The vast majority of the field here tonight coming from Germany with, I count 7 Mercs and 2 Audis. And we have 5 BMWs out of Belgium, Bavaria, and the lone Ferrari of Nordgren, as he and Stock going after each other. Or Wet, I do apologize. I'm gonna get your name right sooner or later, I promise. And it looks like Sam Hammarstedt has towed to the pits. So that's pretty much going to give him pole position. As Jocke Sjöö checking in the YouTube chat. Jocke, where are you, my friend? You were supposed to start on the front row. As we are going to be inverting the field again after this 20-minute sprint race is completed. So they're going to give them a 5-minute warm-up session to make any final adjustments if they want to their sets before we turn them loose for the final 20-minute sprint race. There are your race leaders. That is Philip Axelsson leading Jesper Eriksson. Sebastian Magnussen right there as well, as he's doing everything he can to try to hold off Daniel Homer. As Homer in the slipstream of the big bad Merc coming into turn number 1. He's going to look to the inside. Who's got the braking point? Give it to Homer so far, as Magnussen runs wide to make sure he doesn't get into him. And so that breaks up the Mercedes podium 1, 2, 3. Is now Homer in the BMW sits in third. Eriksson and Homer, your 2 biggest movers in this current heat race. Eriksson plus 12, Homer plus 10, sitting in second and third. As Eriksson giving all sorts of pressure right now to Philip Axelsson. Just dives it going into the bottom end of the track. Into the twisties they come. Eriksson, your new leader. Axelsson now under heavy pressure from Homer. As Homer has gotten away from Magnussen. As Magnussen starts to reel him back in, this is the section of the track that those Mercedes really come into their own, because they can get the grunt out of the corners. You're going to see a little bit of a separation between Homer and Magnussen, Axelsson and Homer right now. Now Homer getting up into the rev range of the BMW as he gets the toe down the front chute. As Marcus Stiller just went for a ride. Take a look at what happened to the 013. Coming into the twisties. Taking a lot of curb there. Same exact place we saw problems during race number 1 this late into it. And something just happened with Stiller again, it looks like. Nope. Same incident. So as we go back live, we're going to check back in at the front of this piece. That's Jesper Eriksson leading the way by a 1.5 seconds over Daniel Homer in the BMW as he's gotten by Philip Axelson. Matter of fact, we're going to go back and take a look at that pass. Coming down the front chute with a good head of steam into turn number 1. Just sends it, does the BMW. You can be a little bit more aggressive in these 20-minute sprint races as opposed to the endurance race that we had at Sebring. Take a look at what's coming up on the schedule here. Bear with me, folks. There we go. Again, coming up on the schedule, we'll be back on the 11th of November as we go to Spa for an 80-minute endurance race. And then we close the season on the 1st of December at Watkins Glen with a 25 and a 40-minute sprint race. Still some good racing coming up on the GT3 side of things. The Cup cars are going to be back next week as they go to Phoenix for 188 laps there. So still a lot of racing left this season to come. Checking in here with that is Jocke Sjöö, Oscar Fredriksson, and Lucas Holmgren going after each other for 5th, 6th, and 7th. And they're about 5.5 seconds to the good over Jocke. Fact, we're going to take a look at the dashboard right now. 230, 240, 245 kilometers an hour, 250 kilometers an hour, 55, almost 60 as they haul it into the braking zone. Dive bomb move from the 112 of Fredriksson on Ulriksson. Ulriksson battles back on the outside. A move we've been seeing a lot of on the oval side of things. We're following along with Ulriksson in the BMW. Oi. Watch the track limits, my friend. As here comes the other BMW of Holmgren to the inside of Fredriksson. Going to make the pass, trying to go around the outside. Coming through the sweeper. Gets a little bit more curb than he really was bargaining for there. Still keeps his foot in it, though. This is your closest battle on track between Fredriksson and Holmgren. Holmgren has it, Fredriksson wants it. As checking back in, just inside and just outside the top 10, with Victor Hammerstrom and Pontius Nordegren going at it. As Nordegren in the lone Ferrari here tonight, trying to make something happen. And he's got those two Audis in front of him, Auto Unions, if you will. One of the most beautiful cars ever created coming out of the Audi stables. A lot of firsts coming out of that factory as well. One of the first to put all-wheel drive into a passenger car. One of the first to really use aerodynamic bodywork on their formula cars back before World War II, just before World War II, and land speed record holder cars. So we're checking in with Nick Grahn as there he is. A little Audi on Audi action right now, as Victor Hammerstrom right in front of him, and he's got the Ferrari of Nordgren right behind him. Those three guys have not let each other get too far away, as Ulrichsen, Holmgren, and Fredriksson still going after each other for fifth, as Holmgren runs it wide. There's a ton of change of direction here at Fuji. Even more so now that they've done away with the sector that they're in right now. It used to be one big sweeper, and it is no longer the case. In the essence of safety, about 4 minutes left in this heat race. This man, Jesper Eriksson, leads the way by just over 4 seconds. He's starting to pull a little bit more of a gap on that BMW of Daniel Holmer. Holmer currently sitting in second. Now, those two guys started tail end of the field as they finished second and third in the first segment. So plus 13 for Eriksson, plus 11 for Holmer. Next biggest mover is going to be that man in the 311 for Superior. That is Joachim Ulrichsen, as he is under heavy pressure from Lucas Holmgren right now. That is your closest battle on track. Less than a car length separate the front and rear bumpers of those two BMWs. And they are really starting to pull a gap on Oscar Fredriksson back there in the Mercedes. Sorry. What an American thing of me to say. Not an inch of give by either one of them, as here we go. Holmgren looking to the inside of Ulrichsen. They make contact. That's no bueno. Ulrichsen almost stalls the car. Luckily, he was able to get the clutch pushed in quick enough. And it's going to open the door for Joachim Mouet to get to him. Let's go back and take a look at that one again. As here comes the undercut, crossover again, crossover again to get the drive out, side by side, and one of them racing deals. Just checking back in up in the front of this piece, as that is Sebastian Magnussen trying to reel in his superior teammate, Philip Axelsson, as it is the Mercedes of Jesper Eriksson, the BMW of Daniel Holmer, the Mercedes of Philip Axelsson, the Mercedes of Sebastian Magnussen, the Mercedes of Oscar Fredriksson, and then you've got two BMWs in the form of Lucas Holmgren and Joachim Mouet. Nordgren and Ulrichsen going after each other now, as we are closing in. I believe we've got one to go. As the Ferrari just throws it around the outside. Nordgren holds the position. Ulrichsen trying to get it back, coming out of the twisties. This is where the Mercedes really shines, is that low-end grunt. The Ferrari, though, is going to be able to pull on him with the clean air, as the front end just slides on Ulrichsen's BMW. That is not what he was hoping for in the slightest. Time getting ready to expire here. As your race leader in the 37, coming through the bottom end of the track. He's just gone into sector 2. This should be the final lap in this 20-minute segment. Gets into the twisties, and you can see that was Homer that just flashed into view way back there, almost 5 full seconds to the arrears. Call it 4 3/4 anyways. So Homer on an island all by himself has almost 5 seconds in front of him, has almost 6 seconds behind him. And everybody else pretty strung out here tonight at Fuji. Again, thank you so much for making this a part of your afternoon. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on the channel. If you check it over on the YouTube side of things, I do want to thank everybody for joining us over there, as everything will be archived on the Sim Racing Media YouTube page. And that is going to do it for heat race number 2. Jesper Eriksson, your winner of the second stage, has a first and a second on the day so far. Dan Homer has a second and a third on the day so far. As we will be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Behöver du en bil? Mabe hyrbilar finns på över 150 platser i landet och vi har nästan lika många modeller att välja på. Mabe hyrbilar. Hyrbilar som passar dig.
I'm the rear tire changer on the number 24 GMS Chevrolet, and you're watching Sim Racing Media.
And we are back at Fuji for the round number 6 of the Svenska eRacingligan GT3 Tour. As bear with me, folks, as I'm just trying to see if I can communicate with anybody. We're going to take a look at the finishing order of that race. Jesper Eriksson, Dan Homer, Philip Axelsson, your top 3. So getting max points there, as we are going to reach out now to the man who has max points on the day so far. Jesper Eriksson, how difficult was it to try to pick your way through that field in the early going?
It's always difficult to just go from last to first. Always a challenge, but most often it's a fun challenge, which it was today. Picking off one by one, trying to set them up and fake some dive bombs and not doing it. So, but it was fun, but it was difficult.
Well, you want the good news or the bad news?
Both.
Good news is you won the second race. The bad news is you get to go all the way through the field again. Congratulations. Here's the consolation prize.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, hell. Well, it's a challenge, and it's a challenge that I enjoy, so I'm not really bothered by it. So hopefully, I just don't crash.
Well, that's usually half the
Hopefully,
battle there. But
yeah.
Jesper, who do you need to thank so far for the day you've been having for Forza Esports?
Just as usual, the whole team, all the practice we put in, and Sam for being such an awesome teammate and helping us, and Oscar for being there and also helping us doing all the test races, and Lucas and all the sponsors, especially Mobby Hyrbilar and Kappa Bar. Major thanks to them for helping us pull this through.
Absolutely. Jesper, again, congratulations on winning the second race. Best of luck to you in the third.
Thank you very much.
And joining us now, the man that he just edged out in that second race, driving the Bright Esports by Overpower BMW, Daniel Homer, second biggest mover in that heat race.
Yeah, hi.
How you doing? How you feeling after that one?
I'm feeling great. It was a bit messy in the first lap there, but I don't think I can take the blame for anything.
Nah, just one of them racing deals.
Yeah.
But now the one thing we've been noticing is once we get to about the 10-minute mark, cars start to skate around on corner exit. Is that something you've been experiencing tonight, or is it just the way that some of those cars are set up?
No, I haven't. No.
Fair enough.
Now I feel that the BMW is pretty stable, in my opinion.
Well, no, you're absolutely right. That would be why you chose it. But
Yeah.
you're going to have to climb your way through the field for a second time here, as you and Jesper are going to be starting shotgun on this field here tonight. What are your thoughts going into the final race?
Yeah. I will try to drive up the field without any mess. I do my best without any incident.
Well, it looks like we're getting ready to grid this one on up.
Yeah.
So best of luck to you, sir. And hopefully we're talking to you in another 20 minutes.
I hope so.
So that was Dan Homer, as we are going to take a look at the starting grid for the final race of the evening. Jocke Sjöö going to be slated to start on the pole, but that's probably going to be handed over to Sam Hammarstedt, as Hammarstedt did withdraw early from the second race. Marcus Stiller and Daniel Segelson going to roll off in row number 2. Row 3 sees Joachim Ulrichsen and Pontius Nordgren. Nicholas Gran and Victor Hammerström make up row number 4, with Håkan Wett and Lucas of Holmgren in row number 5. Row 6 is Oscar Fredriksson and Sebastian Magnusson. Row number 7 goes to Phillips Axelsson and Dan Homer, starting shotgun on the field by virtue of winning the second race, Jesper Eriksson, all by his lonesome back there. As the field already starting to roll here. As looks like Hammarstedt going to have the button this time from the outside lane. Coming through the twisties, as we are going to try to bring the track map back up. Apparently not. Track map, no bueno. As they come out of the final hairpin down the front straightaway, Hammarstedt has the button, as the straightaway is so long that we have to wait for the pace truck to peel off. We're following along with Hammarstedt as he has the front row to himself. Inch never closer to the pit in. There goes the pace truck. Here comes the field. There goes the green flag. And just like this, we are underway for the final race of the evening. A 20-minute sprint race here at Fuji.
Green.
So that is a big gaggle of cars back there as those two superior rides going after each other. Stiller and Ulrichsen, they're 3 wide in the mid-pack, though. Strand getting caught in the middle, not really where he wants to be, and the 79 goes around. Holmgren, Holmer, and Magnussen all catching a piece of that one. Let's go take a look at what happened to Holmer here. There you see him in the white, red, and blue BMW on the outside. Oy. Eriksson wasted absolutely no time as BMW on BMW crime there. That's no bueno. Eriksson now working around Hammerstrom gets punted. Take a look at what happened there. I just caught part of it. Little banging of the fenders there with the BMW. Is Hammerstrom coming out on the losing end of that exchange? Meanwhile, Jesper Eriksson still trying to apply the pressure to his teammate. That's Oscar Fredriksson. Fucking wet right there as well. Wet and Eriksson all over the back bumper of Wet. Trying to figure out how he can get by. Looks through, going up through the inside, gives plenty of room. They're leaning on each other a little bit. Sausage curbs for Eriksson. That's not going to help the cause. Back through the twisties they go. Now Fredriksson looking to make a move. Meanwhile, at the front of this piece, you're not missing much. Sam Hammarstedt already 2.5 seconds over that superior BMW of Jochen Ulrichsen. Marcus Stiller is another 2 seconds back off of him in that superior Mercedes. And then things start to get a little bit tight. Jesper Eriksson has gotten by Stott and Fredriksson. Now tries to reel in his rivals in those superior cars in front of him. Hucking Wet up the inside. Runs Fredriksson a little bit wide. They bang fenders coming out of the first turn. Into the twisties. That is not what we were looking for. Dan Holmer just set fastest lap. Official fastest lap of the of this segment with the 139.11. Hammarstedt has gone sub 139. The only problem is he gated the first sector by abusing track limits ever so slightly. Battle for second, hot and heavy, is that Stiller. Sorry, that's for third, Stiller and Eriksson. Eriksson looking on the inside, going to wrestle the spot away, coming through the twisties into that flick right, flick left chicane. Gets the drive out, coming into the final hairpin. Good head of steam for everybody down the front straightaway here. Fredriksson trying to get the draft off of Stiller. Stiller defends on the low side. Fredriksson's going to try to throw it up through the outside. Mercedes on Mercedes action there. Still side by side as they go through the double right-hander. That is turn 1. Oy. So Eriksson, after starting dead stone last, now sits again in a podium spot. Can he hit through the order tonight with a first, a second, and a third, or is he going to go a little too long? As new best lap of the race, 38.65 for Sam Hammarstedt, who is 4 3/4 seconds to the good, now 5 seconds to the good, over Jocke Sjöö. Checking back in, we're going to go on board for a lap with Hammarstedt. This is what he's seeing. And that's what a lap looks like when you're the race leader, Sam Hammarstedt. Currently 8 seconds to the good over his next closest rival, as that is Jesper Eriksson. There is Eriksson with his hands full of Jocke Sjöö. Ulriksson trying to get back in front to break up the 1-2 that is Mercedes right now. And the big question is, can anybody stop the Forza Esports juggernaut? That is yet to be seen. Hammarstedt now 8.5 seconds to the good as Oscar Fredriksson looks up the inside on Ulriksson. Fredriksson going to try to outbrake him. They bang fenders. There's some Days of Thunder stuff right there, as Fredriksson now has a complete sweep for Forza Esports Mercedes on the top 3 steps of the podium. Checking in back here with the battle for 6 is Daniel Homer in the Bright Esports BMW, as he's got his teammate Håkan Wett in front of him. Marcus Stiller trying to figure out what he's got to do to get by those 2 Beamers in front of him, as he's got a pretty decent gap to his superior teammate Philip Axelson. Only one retirement to speak of those that did. Actually, I take that back. Jocke Ware of deciding to not participate today. Jocke, we miss you. Best of luck to you. Hopefully you'll be back soon. And I must say, folks, that this is my first time being at Fuji in the iRacing simulator. They did an amazing job with this track. They really took their time and got this thing modeled properly. Checking back here, the battle for 12th and 13th. Victor Hammerstrom's Audi has it. Sebastian Magnussen's Mercedes wants it. Pontius Nordstrom in the, Pontius Nordgren in the lone Ferrari currently sits 3 laps down. So, not the day he was hoping for. As there you see the fastest top end speed of all of these cars. If I had to venture a guess, I'm going to say that Nordgren's time was either a computer glitch or a crash, being as there's no way that car just did 286 kilometers an hour. Checking back in with the gap here as we're going to check back in with those 2 bright eSports BMWs. As Dan Homer giving Huck and Wetz all he can handle right now. As we're just past the halfway mark here in this final 20-minute sprint race. Sam Hammarstedt, 9.5 seconds to the good, folks. There's Hammarstedt coming down the front straightaway. Keep your eye in the background, because you're not even going to see second place, Jesper Eriksson. Now you can see him. There's Eriksson and Fredriksson, respectively, behind him. But at least half the distance of the front straightaway is the gap from Hammarstedt to Eriksson. A little bit of track limit usage there. Hammerstedt's got to be careful because he's already had to serve a couple of pass-through penalties for that this season. Doesn't want to have another one to shoot himself in the foot here tonight at Fuji. Checking back in with Hammerstrom and Magnussen. This Magnussen looking to the inside of Hammerstrom. Trying to make it happen now as nothing doing. Hammerstrom stays strong, defends 12th, and they've got to reel in Dan Segelson or else this is not going to end anything but poorly. Still side by side. Oy. Hammerstrom is definitely hustling that Audi around here. Your highest running Audi, though, is this man in the 55. That's Nicholas Grahn. Lucas Holmgren right in front of him in another one of the Ford's eSports. Actually, one of the only Ford's eSports BMWs in the field. Sam Hammarstedt just driving away with this one. We're going to check in with the battle for fourth between Joachim Ulrichsen and Daniel Holmer. Little BMW on BMW action here as Ulrichsen for Superior, Holmer for Bright Esports. Sends it up the inside. A little bit of a crossover move there. They're still side by side. They haven't figured that one out yet. Ulrichsen throws the block on Holmer, tries to defend. Holmer having none of it, just sends it. They make contact going into the switchbacks. No malice in that move. They were just fighting for the same piece of real estate, and, well, compost happens. Holmer looking up the outside this time, down the front straightaway. Side by side as Holmer now has a nose out front as they come through the stripe. Oi! That was a dead heat at the line. Contact! And around goes Holmer. Let's watch that one again. They are side by side. You can see just half a fender to the good is Holmer. They both want to try to brake as late as possible. Holmer tries to shut the door, and unfortunately, Ulrichsen was there. Wet getting through as well as Holmer falls to 6th. Checking in with Axelson and Stiller. Two Superior teammates going after each other with pitchforks and axe handles. Lucas Holmer in the BMW stalking those two Superior Mercedes. Joachim Ulrichsen and Wet going after each other. So Ulrichsen protecting that inside line. Wet's going to have to take it around the outside. Does get the position at the line. But can he hang on to it? He's going to try to arc the turn here. They bang fenders again. Oi. That carbon fiber's got to be wearing thin right now. Checking back in with Holmgren and Stiller as they haven't given up on each other. Holmgren going to slap back in, try to cool those tires off a little bit, and then take another shot at Stiller. Wet and Ulrichsen still nose to tail. As right now, Joachim Ulrichsen is in a Bright Esports sandwich as he's got Jochen Wet in front of him, Daniel Holmer behind him. And this is your closest battle on track for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Everybody else separated by at least 1.5 seconds. Such as your race leader, who's 11 seconds to the good over Oscar Fredrickson, who's got 4.25 seconds to the good over your current third podium car for Forza Esports, Oscar Fredrickson. We are on what should be the final lap for Sam Hammarstedt. As we are just waiting for the final signal. Hammarstedt 11.25 seconds to the good over Jesper Eriksson. Did not finish the second stage, but comes home with a commanding victory after starting on the pole here in race number 3. Hammarstedt, 2 wins on the day. Jesper Eriksson, 2 second places and a win on the day. That is exactly the finish that Jonas Fors wants from his drivers. Hammarstedt comes home with the victory. There is a very drunken Jesper Eriksson weaving back and forth to salute his pit crew on the other side of the wall. Oscar Fredriksson crosses for third. Battle for fourth, still hot and heavy. They haven't gotten that one figured out yet, as it's a 3-car tango. Homer has it. Here comes Wet and Ulriksson. Homer hangs on for fourth. Wet for fourth. Ulriksson for sixth. And there's Philip Axelsson coming home in seventh. 8th place goes to Marcus Stiller. 9th, Lucas Holmgren. Nick Gahn in 10th. Sebastian Magnussen in 11th. Dan Segelson in 12th. 13th going to Victor Hammerstrom. And Pontius Nordgren rounding out those who did take the green, put it on the hauler early. As we're just waiting for everybody congratulating Sam Hammarstedt. As we are going to reach out now to the man of the hour, driver of the Forza Esports, number 74, Sam Hammarstedt. You didn't have the second race that you wanted to, but things couldn't have gone more perfect in the first and third segments.
Yeah, no, second heat was not very good. Again, started from the back. I think I'm just a bit too eager all the time. So I have to take it a bit more cautiously for the last 2 races if we have any more reverse grids.
We will at Watkins Glen in a month's time.
Yeah, well, then I'll have to try my new strategy there.
Well, the next time we see you guys, you're going to Spa for an 80-minute endurance race. What are your thoughts going into one of the most famous tracks in the world?
Well, Spa is one of my favorite tracks, and there's no reverse grids, so it couldn't be better.
Absolutely. Well, Sam, you should be able to pad your points lead coming into tonight, after tonight. Who do you need to thank before we turn you loose?
Yeah, I got to thank Force Esports for all the teamwork as always, and of course Mobihir Bilar and Kappa Bar for their continuous sponsorship.
Sam Hammarstedt, congratulations on winning 2 of the 3. We will see you next time at Spa-Francorchamps.
Thank you.
And joining me now, his teammate for Forza Esports, Jesper Eriksson, came from the back twice to finish second twice in a win on the day. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So Jesper, you really did not let any moss grow under your feet in this race. You sent it on lap 1 going into turn 1. Talk us through that move.
Of course. Well, turn 1 can be the most dangerous, but it can also be the turn that you make the most spots in the first couple of laps. So every position is important.
You can see that, but good grief, you were 4 wide at one point. I don't know if you realize that or not.
No, I actually didn't, because I was on the inside, which made me not realize how many cars were on the outside. Now thinking back, it maybe wasn't the smartest move of them all.
Hey, it worked.
But
It got you from 14th to 8th in one corner.
It sure did. That is true. It did work flawlessly.
Well, Jesper, again, congratulations on being able to climb through the field for a second time today. Next time we see the GT3 division, we're going to Spa-Francorchamps. What are your thoughts going into there?
It's gonna be awesome. 80-minute race, a little bit of an endurance, kind of. So that's fun. I like those kind of events, and Spa is a nice track to race around. So looking forward to it.
All right. Who do you need to thank before we turn you loose to go celebrate with your team?
Well, the whole team, just everyone for doing such an awesome job, and all the sponsors for helping us do an awesome job, and all the management and everyone. Such an amazing job from absolutely everyone in the whole team.
All right. Jesper Eriksson, congratulations on a win and 2 second places on the day. We will see you in 2 weeks at Spa.
Thank you very much.
And joining us now to round out the podium suite for Forza Esports, Oscar Fredriksson.
Hello.
Up 8 positions from where you started. How much fun was to claw through the field?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Had a great start. Got some free positions early on, and then it was just full send.
It definitely looked like full send, as you and Jesper were working your way through the field pretty decently. Little bit of contact early on with those bright esports BMWs, but everybody kept their nose clean and pointed in the right direction. Talk us through how you attacked this final race.
Yeah, so a bit of a messy first and second race with some context. For the final race, I just wanted to keep my car intact through the first corners and the first lap. Just have a working car at the end of the first lap, and managed to do that and get some positions along with it. So that was my strategy all along: just stay intact, have a clean car, and then attack from there.
Well, Oscar, next time we see the GT3s, we're going to Spa. What are your thoughts going into that historic track?
That's gonna be a very different race to what we saw today. 80 minutes, one race, so more like an endurance style race compared to this short sprint format we had today, where it's just full send. Spa is gonna be a lot more fuel conserving, the strategy, preserving the tires, and focusing on the consistency and the long run pace. And it's a fun track to drive in these cars, so definitely looking forward to that.
Oscar, who do you need to thank before we let you go celebrate the podium sweep for Forza Esports?
Of course, the team, helping each other and working well together, finding pace and with good teamwork, and getting a full podium today is very nice. And also the team's sponsors, Mabi Hyrbilar and Kappa Bar.
All right. Oscar Fredriksson, congratulations on the third place finish in the final race. We will see you in 2 weeks at Spa.
Thank you. See ya.
So that's going to about do it for us tonight, folks. As we already heard from Sam Hammarstedt, your winner, Jesper Eriksson, who finished second in the second race, or first in the second race and second in the first and third. Oscar Fredriksson coming home in third in the final race. Dan Holmer hangs on for fourth. Jochen Wett in fifth. Joachim Ulrichsen, Philip Axelsen, Marcus Stiller, Lucas Holmgren, and Nicholas Grahn rounding out your top 10. Sebastian Magnussen, a night he just as soon forget, as well as Dan Segelson. Victor Hermestrom and Pontius Nordgren not having nights that they were hoping for. But that is going to do it for us tonight. Be sure to join us next week as we bring out the Cup cars again. And until we do meet again, folks, this is Tony Trapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that as you walk down the road of life this week, whatever you do, don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.